This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome to another episode of today's... I cannot believe I just did that. Welcome, because this is Irvin Hughes on today's episode of Cruz and Hughes on Small Business Today Radio, and I am excited to have my co-host, my guest co-host today is Bertrand McHenry. He says Bertrand because I guess you're from Texas.
I am from Texas.
All right, well, we're very cool, and you know what? I hope Stephen K. is going to straighten out that introduction. But today is Soapbox Friday, so if you're a listening person to Small Business Today Radio, you know John Cruz is off fishing. And so I have two soapboxes that I'm going to talk about today. And the first one is John Cruz is off fishing. And so I'm getting to have Soapbox Friday all by myself, and I can say whatever I want to about my co-host John Cruz, and who is normally here. But I'm actually happy that he's out today. You know, that's part of my soapbox because I wouldn't have had Bertrand here if he were here. And Bertrand, of course, is a well-known co-author and a guru, and we're going to talk to him today. So get your pens and paper out because you're going to want to certainly take some notes. Also, I want to give you an opportunity to be able to call in because when you have a guy like this to associate with, folks, you don't want to miss out on an opportunity to call in and talk with him. So you want to talk to Bertrand, you can give us a call at 347-857-3958. You can call us right here in the studio, or you can see us live broadcasting on Ustream.tv. Now, if you happen to miss yesterday's show, we had a great show on yesterday, and we had Miss Tina Marie Jones, who was in on yesterday, who did just a phenomenal job. And so we've got another guest co-host in to sit in with us today, and so we're going to have a really great time. Of course, as you know, on this show on Small Business Today Radio, we educate, we engage, we inform, and we discuss the topics that help entrepreneurs go from thought to action. And the big part of what we do here on this show is about action. Now, speaking of action, I want to talk about Soapbox Friday because this is Soapbox Friday. And I already talked about John Cruz. That was my first soapbox. But remember, I told you I had two soapboxes. Here's my second one. What is going on with these gas pumps? All right. First of all, we're already paying, what is it, $5 a gallon now? Well, the hurricane's passed now, so maybe we're back to under $4. But here's the point. You ever pump gas and your pump's going really good, and then all of a sudden that thing slows down, you know, and it kind of creeps to a halt? And here's my problem. Physics tells me that something in a pipe with a certain flow rate is going to have a certain amount of volume come through. Well, if that flow rate slows down, even though my money is running, am I still getting the amount of gas I thought I bought? I don't know. Maybe you can call me and straighten me out. Remember, you can always give us a call at 347-857-3958. Now, many people in small business have a real challenge with building the business in all the different ways to build a business. What do I mean by that? You can advertise your business. You can advertise in all the various media. Here at Small Business Today Radio, of course, with Cruz and Hughes, you can always advertise with us, but you can have a great number of different media outlets as a part of your media mix. Here's the challenge. Out of all of the media you can do, the most valuable media you can have is a referral network. That's more valuable than anything and everything that you can do. Should you have a referral network to replace your traditional media advertising? No. Why? Because you have to have name recognition. You have to be on top of the mind of people that gives you the opportunity to even get into your referral network. But I am happy to have today Mr. Bertrand McHenry. He is president and owner of the Referral Institute of Houston. Is that right?
That's right.
The Referral Institute of Houston. Yes, folks, there are people who will teach you how to build a referral network. How cool is that? And so you'll be able to hear from him. And we're going to give you some points, some things to take away on the show. And that's why I want you to be sure and write some things down. Now, Bertrand, I'm just happy to have you on the show, my friend, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Herb. It's my pleasure. And I have to agree with you. One of my soapboxes is that John is off fishing.
That's right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, my friend. I really, really appreciate you joining me on Soapbox Friday.
Absolutely.
You know, I have to pull teeth to get John to join me on Soapbox Friday.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's he's Mr. Posalute, right? That's my new spelling word, Posalute.
Posalute?
And yeah,
I'm stealing it.
Yeah, and so he always says, well, I don't really have a soapbox to get on. and you already know, folks, that's not true. John, I know John has a soapbox to get on. So my hope for him is while he's out fishing in Costa Rica, Bertrand, I hope he catches something bigger than he is.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because then he'd have a story to tell.
Yeah. Then we'll have to listen to his fish story. That's right. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into this.
Okay. I started off in sales and marketing years ago in the 80s, and I spent a lot of time learning the craft and the art of selling.
Okay.
A lot of that has to do with cold calling.
Yeah.
And building a pipeline.
Well, that's the thing nobody wants to do.
No one wants to do it, but those years I spent doing that, I would never take that away. There's such valuable experience going through that process and learning how to do that well. But I discovered one thing fairly early on, about the first year, is that it's less about talent and it's more about systems.
That's right. I would agree with that.
And you never suffer in September for what you didn't do at the beginning of September. You suffer in September for what you didn't do in June.
Boy, isn't that true?
That is absolutely true. And so I knew that if I could discover what my numbers were, my closing ratio,
right,
I could back that up to the front end and work the numbers. And no matter how good I was at closing, if I worked the numbers the right way, I'd always come out successful.
Well, now wait a minute, because you're saying something really powerful right here. Are you suggesting that if someone has a sales system that they're working, it's part of them, they've institutionalized it, so to speak, instituted it in their daily being, that they don't have to necessarily guess about their income?
Not only they don't have to guess, they shouldn't be guessing. They should know what their numbers are.
You should know what
if they're a competent business person or a competent salesperson, they need to absolutely know what their numbers are so they can work those numbers. Otherwise, they're just guessing. Otherwise, they're just leaning on talent or hope that it's going to come through at the end of the month. If there's a system in place, which is what attracted me about Referral Institute, if there is a system in place, you can work the system. I mean, you can have your hands firmly on the steering wheel, Irv, and drive that.
I like that.
Yes, absolutely.
I like that. Now, Bertrand, does this work for any business? Because some people that listen to this show, some people that's going to be watching on Ustream are going to say, well, referrals are really okay. That sounds cool, but not for my business because my business is specialized in some way. Does this work for any business?
It works for any business. What does not work is this smoky idea of networking. The schmoozing, and I like to say often, schmoozing is not a core competency. It's not a skill set.
Right.
You have to actually take networking, can combine it with referral marketing, and put it into a system so that it becomes an absolute hard-edged economic driver in your business.
I got that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, Bertrand, think that networking is business card swapping. And I've seen a lot of that. And to me, that's not networking.
Right.
I think networking, and you correct me here because you're certainly the expert, but I believe networking has more to do with can you integrate solutions? Can you take your business, whatever your core competency is, and I add my core competency to yours, and now we have a better system. We have a better solution than we had without each other. To me, that's the kind of the basis of networking. Do you agree? Or
that is certainly a part of it, for sure. A relationship is a huge part of it. But I like what you started off saying, that it's business card. What were you saying?
Card swapping.
Card swapping. Yeah. I call it business card aerobics, where people absolutely get out of breath passing out business cards, and they lead with the business card. So before I even touch your flash, I'm handing you a card.
Yeah.
And before I connect with you.
You know what? That to me, that just kind of, I don't know what it is. It kind of, I don't know. I'd like to shake your hand, look in your eye. I'd like to say hello to you. I'd like for us to trade names. I'd like for us to talk a little bit before we start pulling out paper. I mean, that's just me, though. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm a Neanderthal about that. But, to me, just, somebody popping a card out on me, it's kind of like,
It's very transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very relational at all.
Yeah, it's kind of like asking a girl out on a first date and then want to know what she wants for breakfast. I mean, it's a little presumptuous.
It is a little I've never done that.
Yeah,
but it is presumptuous.
It is presumptuous, and you got to figure you're probably going to get into trouble if you keep this up.
Absolutely.
So I'm a little insulted by that, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
It is a little off-putting. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that is off-putting because it extends a barrier right up front. Instead of talking about, hey, you are Irv? How are you, Irv?
Yeah, hi.
What do you do for a living?
Yeah,
where do you come from?
Right.
That kind of stuff. Is there any basis for us doing any kind of business later on down the road? Not tonight, for sure.
Right.
And we'll talk about that when we talk about the relationship model. But
well, that's really important because so many people, I think, never get any kind of formal training on how to go about building a referral network.
Right.
And so they're guessing.
We were told all of our lives it's not what you know, but
who you know.
Who you know, absolutely. And so that's all we know about that. Go out there and get connected. Well, how do I do that? It looks like it's for the gifted.
You're right.
I mean, it seems like it's not for everybody. And if I'm an introvert or a little bit nervous about that,
that's right.
I must not have a chance to do that. It's not true. Some of the best referral marketers I know are introverted people.
Yep, that's right. That's very true. And you know what? That's probably a level of comfort that they develop over time.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, listen, folks, we're here with Bertrand McHenry from the Referral Institute of Houston. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. Stay with us. We'll return in a moment. More with Bertrand.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan.
The storm's coming.
The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham Directed. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at sbtmagazine.net. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're just joining us, you are coming in at a great time because we have Mr. Bertrand McHenry, who is president and owner of the Referral Institute of Houston. And I guess there are referral institutes all over the country.
All over the world.
All over the world.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And the reason I bring that up, Bertrand, is because I'm sure that there are people listening. I know that our audience is literally all over the country. And so you might have a referral institute near you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You go to referralinstitute.com.
Okay, referralinstitute.com. Well, you know what, while we're on that, let's talk about how do people connect with you. If somebody's listening to the show today and they want to connect with you to learn more about the Referral Institute, how do they do that?
They can reach me at Bertrand at referralinstitutehouston.com.
Okay.
They can call me at 281-401-9852.
Okay. And then the website, the Referral Institute of Houston.
referralinstitutehouston.com.
Okay, super. Well, when we went away, we were talking about a lot of things about how the Referral Institute works as far as what you guys do over there. And I want to get an opportunity to talk because I know you do a lot of things, and one of the things I'm really excited about is the book.
Oh, yeah.
Because I really believe that the books we read allow you to associate with people that you probably won't get the opportunity to meet in person.
That's right.
And so I'm really thrilled about that. And just let me tell you what, how would you like the opportunity to have literally the only business book you'll ever need? The only one. That's the only business book you'll ever need. And guess what? I'm here with the co-author of that very book, so we're going to talk about that. But that's my segue into Bertrand. Talk to us about some of your core capabilities, what some of those things are.
Well, I operate under three main core competencies, and those are, number one, getting the right referral marketing education, because there is a lot of misinformation out there around networking, because there's a lot of people teaching valid stuff, but they're more tactics, and I'm about systematizing referral marketing and making your income predictable. So getting the right referral marketing education is the first thing. Number two is accountability and immersion. It's really difficult for me to go out and do a keynote address and transform your life or have a great impact on your business in 1 hour. I need students to come back week after week after week and kind of be immersed in the discussion and be held accountable to the new paradigms and the new activities week after week after week. After all, I am coaching, so I need that accountability. And number three, and this is someone no one else is doing, is training your network, getting your network trained. So if you're one of my participants, at some point during the year, several times, we're going to bring members of your network in and get them trained to be a great referral partner for you, so we can start predicting that.
So now let me back up, because what you're saying is really powerful stuff. So you're saying that as a participant, if I have people who are part of my referral network, they can be trained on how to be better members of my referral network?
Better referral partners. And in a 12-month period, in my Referrals for Life community program, in a 12-month period, we're looking for probably, on the outside, 5 great referral partners that have systems built into their daily activities that support the growth of your business. You really don't have time to develop any more than 5 in a year. Sure. Because just developing relationship to that degree, to that level, takes so much time.
Right. And you know what? I think it takes, and you might can correct me here, but I really believe that kind of relationship takes a great deal of trust between the parties.
Trust is the hugest step. It's the first step. But absolutely, yes, trust is the biggest step, and that takes a lot of time to get to.
Sure.
And I don't know how long it takes. It's different for different people, but we do operate out of something called a networking scorecard. Once we identify some potential referral partners that meet the criteria, then we start to move them into relationship. And when we get to a high enough level of relationship, then we start pulling them in and getting them trained.
Well, wait a minute, Bertrand. Now you're saying that there is a criteria to decide who might be a good referral partner and who perhaps wouldn't be?
Yes, there is.
Wow. So, what are some of those points? Can you share a couple of those?
Sure.
I mean, not all of them, but
no,
but you know,
absolutely.
What are some of those that might be helpful?
Number one, they need to have credible relationships in your target market.
Gotcha.
They have to be swimming in the pool that you're going after. That's
that.
one. They have to have a willingness to be trained to be a referral partner for you, and have the resources. And by that I mean they have to have enough money to join groups,
sure,
to form relationships on their own to bring something to the table.
So there is some investment that would be ideal, I guess, in building that referral network, just so you can get in the right circles.
I would think so. I mean, anybody that's going to be networking and out there in the community, branding themselves, is already going to be spending some money in groups. One of the other criteria that we don't really list in the Institute, but I've kind of come up with, is we also have to have the ability to like the person I'm kind of recruiting or courting as a referral partner, because if I'm drawing them into relationship only because they're in my target market and only because they're willing to be trained, then I'm just manipulating them.
Right.
So one of the key points is we're really looking for and recruiting people that we can quote unquote do life with.
Sure.
Because when we surround ourselves with people who can bring us business and whom we like, then we start to blur the line between work and play.
So it's really not like in the case of a lot of companies, and you'll see this a lot in corporate America, is probably one of the things that drove me out of banking and had me start my own consulting firm, was as an employee, I was forced to work with people that I really didn't necessarily like, but I dealt with it because it was my job to.
Correct.
But once you're in your own business, once you're self-employed, or you're in a position of leadership and driving sales, you get to pick your partner, so to speak.
You do get to pick, and you should.
And you should pick your
because
partner.
entrepreneurism is a lifestyle.
Right.
So everything about it should be according to your lifestyle. So you're surrounding yourself with people that you like, that also have a lot of integrity, that also swim in your target market, that can bring something to the table, and whom you can bring things to the table for as well.
Now, Bertrand, a lot of people have told me that they worry a bit about this networking idea and referral networks and so on, because they're worried about competitors. Where somehow they inadvertently, or through someone, here's a competitor of theirs. Does that happen, or does that never happen? Because I don't know if that's a real concern, or if that's just something people cook up in their mind that all of a sudden these five guys are going to know really weaknesses and strengths about me, but now they've got referrals, and maybe people they don't even know start to find out some things about me, and now I can't protect myself, so to speak.
I think I come from a place of abundance. I don't think in terms of scarcity or lack, and I just don't think that exists. It might exist in your mind if you set it up for yourself.
Yeah.
But the mentality needs to be that I'm out there in the marketplace. There is no such thing as real hurtful competition.
Right.
Only if I'm bad at what I do, and I don't follow up, and I don't take care of people, and don't build relationships.
I happen to be a little weird, I guess. I don't know. I like competition because I think it makes you sharper.
It does.
I think it gives you an opponent, and I'm saying an opponent, not an enemy. It's a difference.
Right.
It's an opponent. All right. And a lot of people see competitors as the enemy, and I don't see that. I do see them though as the opponent, as if we were in a tennis match, or I like you a lot, but if there was a game of marbles here on the floor, I'd be probably trying to beat you.
Right.
And that's the point.
Yeah. An opponent makes you sharper, as iron sharpens iron.
Exactly right. And so I have what I think is a healthy attitude about competition, but I think I always say this with my clients. I always say, you got to understand that if you come to me and start telling me about you've got this business model, or you've got this idea, and you have no competitors, see, to me, the model is not validated because no one else is doing it. We have nothing to measure with.
Right.
And guess what? You don't have anything to measure with either.
That's right.
So now you're going to ask people to invest money into this, and that kind of concerns me.
And you bring up a good point, because I do think an opponent does make you sharper. And sometimes competition is not necessarily in your exact micro target market.
That's right.
You could be asking for totally different things.
Well, and the other thing is, too, is that if you don't know what your target market is, I think it makes building a referral network for that particular market extremely difficult, if not impossible. Do you agree?
I think it's extremely difficult to do any kind of business if you don't know what your target market is. If you're saying I service the entire world,
right?
How do you go to the marketplace and ask for anything?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So I find that a lot of times I was in a conference just yesterday actually. And it was a lot of government and private sector entities there, and a lot of small business people there, selling their wares and so on. And in observing them, one of the things that I noticed is when they would literally walk up to someone, here's an opportunity for them to present themselves, and someone in this large corporation who's a buyer controlling millions of dollars would literally say, okay, well, tell me who you are and what you do. And they would say, well, what do you need?
Right.
And to me, I'm blown away by that.
Yes.
Because to me, that was a missed opportunity.
It's a missed opportunity, and also if you open it up for everybody, there's going to be a certain amount of the population that comes in that you try to service that drain you,
right,
that wear you out, that aren't a good fit for you personally, emotionally, and mentally.
Are you saying that there are prospects that you should not try to sell to?
There's prospects you should say, you're not my client. I'll send you down the street.
Exactly. That's right. Absolutely not a good fit.
Right.
Well, I'm thrilled about the opportunity for us to talk about this, folks, because, once you get the opportunity to build a referral network, really, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of this, because really your referral partners can be some great assets to you. They don't show up necessarily on the balance sheet, but the result of those guys do show up on the balance sheet.
It does show up on the balance sheet, and it will show up on the balance sheet predictably later on.
Well, that's awesome. When we come back, we're going to talk more about behavioral styles, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, brought to you by Ring Central. To get Ring Central's virtual PBX for your business, call 888-716-5022. That's 888-716-5022. We'll return in just a moment.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Steven, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
There's a storm coming.
The Legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're just joining us, we're here today with Bertrand McHenry, who is president and owner of the Referral Institute of Houston. And if you are interested in getting connected with Bertrand, you can do so by going to their website at the referralinstituteofhouston.com, or Bertrand, they can reach you at your email.
Bertrand at referralinstitutehouston.com.
And your phone number?
281-401-9852.
Well, super. Well, listen, I'm thrilled that you're here, man, because we're having a great conversation, folks, about building referral networks. These networks are systematized. It's not just tactics, but a system of referral networking such that you can now know what your numbers are. You can predict your income. You can stabilize the income in your business by implementing this system in your business. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about behavioral lifestyles before we get into the book, because I want to talk about the book for sure, because I think what you've done is absolutely outstanding.
Thank you.
And you know, because of the people that you've co-authored this with, the chances of getting that done to me are near impossible, just because of the sheer stature of these folks in their respective fields. So, what are behavioral styles? What do you mean by that when you say that?
Behavioral styles are different than personality styles. Behavioral styles are how do you conduct yourself in public?
Okay.
And do you have a style that you lead with most of the time when your natural style, and do you have an adaptive style that you mask with when you're in public situations?
I see.
And that's really important because there's 4 basic behavioral styles, and we get to this by using the DISC assessment. Have you ever heard of the DISC assessment?
Tell me about it.
It's a test. It takes about 20 or 30 minutes to take, and it reveals exactly what behavioral style is There's two dominant behavioral styles, and we're a mix of all 4.
Oh, okay.
Mostly.
Well, that's good to know.
we're a mix of everybody has some of all of them,
right.
But we usually lead with 2.
But there's one that's dominant.
Absolutely. And so they're basically the go-getter, which is the A-type personality, quick decision-making, get to the bottom line, speaks fast, gets in your space fairly easy, is comfortable with conflict. And then we have the nurturer, who wants everyone to be together. Teamwork, is conflict averse, doesn't like that kind of stuff. And then you have the examiner, which is the engineer, the person that needs the facts and figures, lots of that information before they make a decision. And then you have the promoter. The promoter is the big, colorful person with the lampshade on their head and the life of the party. And those 4 behavioral styles. And the reason we even teach that is that it's important to go into the marketplace and understand, if I only ever operate totally out of my behavioral style,
right,
I'm probably turning off 33% of the population.
Wow, Bertrand, with you saying that, I'm just, I'm using what you're saying to assess myself, and I just feel so screwed up right now because I'm sitting there listening to you, and I'm thinking, wow, what do you call a 1 and a 4? I am really screwed up now.
This could be soapbox for next Friday.
That's right. We could have that because I like to promote people. I like the idea of promotion, and I might very well have been the guy, because I have outstanding height. I'm, well under 6 feet tall. And so, the idea of my having a lampshade on my head in public doesn't really escape me. I mean, I can think of instances where that might be okay with me, and right. So, and then there's the other thing where I'm actually reasonably comfortable with conflict too. I mean, I don't necessarily mind it if somebody feels like fighting. I'm generally an accommodating person, and if they feel like fighting, I will accommodate. I can oblige them. So I don't know. I was just kind of going through that.
Well, actually, those two behavioral styles go together.
Oh, they do.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So I'm not as screwed up as I think.
Not not as you thought you were.
Okay.
Fairly screwed up, but not as probably
okay. All right. See, that's fair. That's fair to me. I appreciate your honesty. I like that.
The go-getter and the promoter go together. The
Sure.
go-getter and the examiner go together.
I
Now,
see.
the go-getter and the nurturer can't exist in the same body at the same time.
Oh, man.
That's a little bit different. But the way we teach that class is we have the class sectioned off into 4 sections, 4 sets of chairs. When they first come in, everybody can sit wherever they want to.
Okay.
And we do a little introduction, and then we have them all take the assessment.
Okay.
And then we say, all of the go-getters, if you'll stand up, move over here. And all the promoters, if you'll go over there. And all the nurturers will sit here, and all the examiners over here. Visually, they all look the same.
Right.
All of the promoters are big hair, lots of bling, lots of color. They might not even match, and that's okay with them. They don't mind.
Yeah, they don't care.
They like to talk. They like to be big. They like to party.
My wife tells me that all the time. She says, "You understand? You're not matching." Yeah, well, let's go.
Exactly.
I don't care.
That's right. And they like their keywords are fun.
Yeah.
Together, let's have a good time.
Right.
Let's party.
Yeah.
Go-getters are in power suits. They're dark suits, bright colors, bold colors. They tend to lead when you meet them with first and last name. I introduce myself as, "Hi, I'm Bertrand McHenry," because go-getters want you to know who they are.
That's right.
And they make quick decisions. They want bullet points. Get to the bottom line. Let me hear what the bottom line is. I don't like you to tell the whole story.
That's a soapbox for me.
Yeah. There's another one.
Yeah,
you got 2 weeks worth now.
I do got 2 weeks.
Wow,
worth
that's
of
great.
Soapbox stuff. But no, so that those behavioral styles, I guess, would be also important for you to recognize when you're networking which behavioral style you're dealing with.
That is so true, and that's why we teach it. Because as a go-getter, if I walk up on an examiner and without knowing it, just get in their space, and I don't recognize they're backing off from me,
right?
I'm irritating them. And this
Right.
is what happens with examiners. If I walk up and say, "Hi, I'm Bertrand McHenry," a lot of times they'll say hi.
Yeah.
They won't give me their first or last name.
Yeah, they won't say anything at all.
Because they're very guarded with their
Right.
information. They need lots of information before they trust. And if I know that and I can read body language before I get to them, I know I'm going to stand about 3 or 4 feet away, talk to them softly, more deliberately. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so when you're in a networking scenario, and especially where there's a sale maybe behind that, and that's what you're up to. If you make mistakes with this, because sometimes you run into those behavioral styles that perhaps won't give you any information.
Right.
What do you do? Do you back away and just not deal with that? Do you continue to pursue? What do you do?
You know, that's a great question. If I am talking to somebody at a networking event and I realize I've already flubbed up, I can dial it back a little bit. I can bring another referral partner in to kind of soften that situation. I can make sure, hopefully I've gotten their card already, and I'll just leave that as pleasant as I can and send them a gentle email later if I want to keep in touch with them. But I'm not going to push it at that point.
Okay.
That's for sure.
So one of the things I do, and I didn't know I was doing this, but a lot of times what I do is I'll say, you know what, I really enjoyed talking with you. I'd love to meet and talk with you more at some point in the future. Is it okay? I literally ask permission. Would you mind if I swap cards with you so I can send you an email?
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, because a lot of times I can sense that. Maybe my angle of approach is too steep for them, and and they're maybe taken aback by that, or because I kind of lead with hey, I'm a little shy and introverted, but that's not true, and they kind of pick that up immediately,
right?
And then so a lot of times I'm in a situation where I can detect that there's some resistance there, maybe some inertia, and then in which case now I can adjust, and it's easy for me to do.
Right. It sounds like you're already kind of in tune intuitively with some of these behavioral styles.
Yeah, I just didn't know that that's what they had titles. I've 26 years messing around with this, so
But it's nice to have titles because a lot of times I'll have people come to me and say, "I'd love to be a referral partner with you." Well, there's a lot that goes into that, but one of the things is first thing you got to do is you got to get competent at behavioral styles.
Right.
You need to know these because I want to come to you at a networking event and I want to say, "Hey, I'd like to introduce you to somebody. He's a nurturer," and I don't want to have to say anything else.
Right.
I want the shorthand there, so
Right.
I know exactly because you're a promoter, you're big and loud. You're going to scare them. If you walk up that way.
No, that's exactly right.
Right.
That's exactly right. Well, that's awesome. I want to use this though as a good segue. We can switch over because I want to talk about this VCP model, relationship model, and you've put this in the book, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I want us to get a chance to talk a little bit about the book. And folks, if you're watching on Ustream, here is the book. Go and find it. Is it out? Is it out everywhere now?
It is. It's on Amazon.
It's on the Zon.
You can get it on the Zon. That's right.
Well, listen, this is the only business book you'll ever need, and it features Bertrand McHenry here with us from the Referral Institute. And in the book is this VCP relationship model. So talk to us a little bit about what the VCP model is, because we're going to continue that in detail when we come back.
Okay. The VCP relationship model is just a kind of a marker so we know where we are with people when we meet them and then take them through the relationship. And it basically stands for visibility, credibility, and profitability. And those are just stages of the relationship. So when I first meet you at a mixer for the very first time or anywhere else, tomorrow when I wake up, if I can remember your first and last name, what you do for a living, and who you do it for, we're only at visibility.
Gotcha.
I haven't earned the right to start asking for business or start asking for your referrals because, let's face it, your referrals belong to you.
Correct.
And I don't have any right to them.
Right.
All I need to do at visibility is have you believe that I'm a friendly, trustworthy, likable person that's a good source of resources and connections. That's all. That's all I need you to do. And I may stay at visibility with large groups of people on purpose for a long time.
Super.
And then we go to credibility. That's a different level of relationship, and we get a little bit more intimate at that point, but we're not quite at the point where we earn the right to start asking to systematize my business relationship with you, but we are starting to move into some more support, and there's some criteria around that as well.
Well, that's cool. I want you to hold right there because we're going to take a break right now, and I want to come back and talk about profitability.
Excellent. Me too.
Yeah, we want to talk about profitability. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, and I just want to give you an opportunity to go to salesnexus.com and download your free trial copy. It's a customer relationship management system. It's fantastic. We use it here at Small Business Today Radio. You want to get your free trial copy right now so you can manage the relationships. We're here with Bertrand McHenry. More in a moment. Don't go away.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disastrous, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan.
The storm's coming.
The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at sbtmagazine.net. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Today we're talking about building referral networks to build your business. If you're just joining us, let me tell you what, you missed a great show. But nonetheless, don't worry, because we put all of our shows are archived on our website at cruzandhughes.com. So you can go right there. You can click on the Blog Talk Radio player that's on the left side of the screen there, and you can click, and we literally archive all of the shows each week. So you can get right back to the show. But we're here with Bertrand McHenry, and he is talking about the Referral Institute and what they do and how they do it. And if you want to connect with him, you can literally visit their website at the Referral Institute Houston.com. Is that right?
That's it.
And then they can call you
at 281-401-9852.
Or email
at bertrand@referalinstitutehouston.com.
Well, I'm really excited about the opportunity for people to connect with you, because I think right now investing in building a good, strong referral network can take a lot of pain out of growing your business. Folks, let me tell you, there are a lot of people out here. You know, I'm an old finance guy. We talk about it here on the show. I'm an ex-commercial banker. And a lot of people are surprised when I tell them that the last thing you need is a loan. Sometimes you want to take a look at your business and find out what you really need is sales. And there's a process to get to that, and a process that you need to go through and learn. And yes, you can learn it, how to generate sales and how to keep those sales consistent and profitable, which brings us to the point that I wanted to get to when we went to break, Bertrand, and that's talking about profitability.
Profitability. That's a great subject. In fact, if we didn't get to it, you'd have a third soapbox
to
get onto.
Exactly right.
But when we talk about VCP, you got visibility, very shallow level of a relationship. You've got credibility, and that credibility, I keep the definition fairly clinical because I need to pull the emotion out of it. Because people go to lunch with somebody and they get a good feeling about them, and they think they're at credibility. Credibility is, at least for the last 8 to 12 weeks, we've been supporting each other on a regular basis.
Right.
We've been introducing one another to one another's networks.
Sure.
Showing you that respect. And I've been, where possible, I've been passing you referrals fairly regular, and where possible, I've used your service.
Sure.
At that point, we can kind of say we're at credibility, and we can start moving into what's called profitability. And profitability looks like a question that sounds like this. Hey, Irv, we've been supporting each other and passing referrals and doing a lot of things together that's benefited one another's business. I'm interested in having a conversation with you about sitting down and training one another, getting each other trained on how we can systematize this business relationship so we can predict a dollar amount from one another's business going forward for the next year. Would you be interested in doing that?
Absolutely. See, that to me, now we're going to quantify our relationship.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And we're friends.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
And I want to do that because I like you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
so
exactly
I don't.
Right.
So there's no pressure in that.
And that class is actually called Referral Pipeline, and that's an 8-hour class.
Wow.
And you as a guest is not charged anything because I paid for the Referrals for Life community program, and I'm going to teach this for my class 10 times a year. So you got 10 shots to bring people in and get them trained, and we do a lot of relationship training. But then at the end, we actually open up computers and go through database, and I say, hey, here's this guy, are these good referrals for you? And we make a list. We make a wood pile for Irv for the rest of the year. So I've got a list of 100 names that you've said that's a great referral for me.
Sure.
And we've done work in the beginning of the class where we found out what your closing ratio is. Mm-hmm. So if I've got 100 referrals to give you, you're going to close 50 of them.
Wow.
Your average deal is, let's say, $500.
Sure.
So you can say this is $25,000 worth of business coming from this relationship in the next 12 months. Now we're going to meet regularly. We're going to have something set up where we're going to meet every month and make sure we're staying on target with that.
Right. Now, Bertrand, to me, that's almost like what an investor would do in a finance situation.
That's interesting.
You know, investors, they buy a piece of your company, but then to protect their investment, of course, they bring referrals, they bring expertise, they bring all kinds of things to your company because they want to protect their investment for obvious reasons.
Right.
But a lot of times, small business owners shy away from the investment finance kind of relationship simply because now they feel like, well, this guy is going to bird dog me. This guy's going to, now he's going to be in my business. He's going to ask me all kinds of questions about what I'm doing. If I take a day off or catch the flu, he's going to want to know all kinds of things. And
how'd you make it up? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And in this scenario, this is, I would think, just as valuable because there is sales that can come out of it, which is the best kind of money you can have in business.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, the National Sales Association tells us that on average it takes me or you 8 to 12 hours to take suspect to client.
Wow. Suspect. I like
to
that.
go from suspect to prospect through the client process to turn them into a client. 8 to 12 hours of face-to-face time or phone time.
Wow.
And that's a lot of hours for me to do on an individual basis.
Well, no doubt about that.
But if I have 5 or 6 referral partners out there who are out there having those important conversations on my behalf, and they turn their referral over to me because these people are trained to qualify, not just bring me somebody in my target market, but qualify on time and need.
Sure.
By the time they turn the referral to me, I've got 30 minutes left in the 12 hours.
Well, now I've got to ask you this question, and I meant to get to it before we did this. But you co-authored this book with Brian Tracy.
Yes.
How in the world did you do that?
Brian Tracy needed somebody brilliant. And
Brian Tracy never hears this show.
Brian Tracy
my God.
Called a friend of mine, Dr. Ivan Meisner, who is the founder of BNI, Business Network International, and asked him to get involved in this book, and he didn't have time, and he referred it over to me, and we talked and talked to his group, and I said, absolutely yes.
Oh, I was going to say, did you jump at this opportunity?
I jumped. I did not deliberate. I jumped. Absolutely.
So now, tell me about the book. Is it selling well, or
it's selling? Yeah, it's selling very well. It went bestseller in the first 3 days that it was released in April in 3 categories.
Now that's April of this year.
April of this year.
Okay.
And I won a Quilly Award from the National Bestsellers Association. I'll go to California next month and receive that from Jack Canfield.
Wow, congratulations. And you've got to be thrilled. I was kind of teasing you before we came on the air saying, man, I would be like a kid in a candy store.
I was. And still am.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Now, also, if you could mention, there are other people that are, I guess, part of the book, or...
It's called The Only Business Book You'll Ever Need, and it was written by experts in their particular field. I wrote the chapter on referral marketing, but Chris Atwood, Janet Bray Atwood, Lee Steinberg, Brian Tracy, and Robert G. Allen.
Wow. Robert G. Allen.
Yes.
Like his first name is The.
Yeah, exactly. That's his first name.
His first name is The Robert G. Allen.
Right.
We're talking about the same name. Wow, that's incredible. So now, when somebody has gone through the process, they've been educated and trained in referral networking. What are some of those things that they learn to do, maybe in a bulletized kind of fashion, maybe 1, 2, 3?
I think the first thing they learn to do is that networking and referral marketing is about relationship building. And we say that so often it becomes so cliche, but it is so true. It's about taking your time and developing relationships that will reap you rewards. But the process of that, networking is a very nebulous term. So is referral marketing, for that matter. Systematizing it so that your income is predictable is what is key.
We're going to get you to finish that because I want you to be sure and we hit all the bullet points. Folks, you're listening to Small Biz Today with Cruz and Hughes, brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. Folks, when you need credit help, get a free consultation today by calling 888-744-7081. That's 888-744-7081. We're in the home stretch. Don't go away. More with Bertrand in a moment.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Steven, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Today we had Bertrand McHenry, who is president of the Referral Institute of Houston, a co-author of the only business book you'll ever need. And he co-authored this book with Brian Tracy, of all people. If you don't know who Brian Tracy is, just Google him. I mean, I don't even want to get into who all this guy is, but this guy's an institute all by himself.
Right.
And I've been kind of teasing Bertrand about the idea of how in the world did you even get to co-author something like this with someone like that. But listen, if you have had the opportunity to start your own business and you don't have a referral network and you don't really have those skills, you hadn't been formally trained, I would highly encourage you to reach out to Bertrand. You can do that by emailing him at
Bertrand@referralinstitutehouston.com
or give him a call at
281-401-9852
or reach him on his website at the referralinstitutehouston.com.
That's it.
All right, super. So, Bertrand, I cannot thank you enough for being on the show with me today.
Irv had a great time. This was a lot of fun.
Are you going to come back, man?
I would. Anytime you want to. A Soapbox Friday, I'm in.
You're in on Soapbox Friday.
I am.
All right. Well, very cool. You know, we got to have you in when John Cruz comes back.
Yeah.
So we can bust his chops about going fishing on us.
For sure.
Yeah, we're absolutely.
We'll see if he has anything mounted.
That's exactly
the first thing.
So one last bullet point to give as a takeaway for our audience today.
The last bullet point is this. You got to know your numbers. Whether you're selling, marketing, or referral marketing, you have to know your numbers. And don't just fall into networking and schmoozing. Measure it. Get some kind of system where you can actually predict that income and drive it forward.
That's awesome. Well, again, man, we really appreciate it. I am coming to see you.
Thank you, Irv.
All right, and I'm going to bring some folks and get some folks to help join and spread the word and evangelize what you're doing.
We'll have fun.
I think we will have an absolute blast. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. John Cruz will be back next week, and since I've been here with Bertrand, I don't know, maybe we'll push him off to the side and have Bertrand join me, on the show. John's out of town, so I can say whatever I want to say. Well, until next week, until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else, folks, be in action. And we'll see you on Monday.